Listen, a lot of people talk about breaking generational curses. And I'm so elated and happy to hear so many people talking about that. However, I'm disappointed often when what they're talking about is chasing the bag or getting the bag or these material things that really are not the source of our generational curses. Our source of generational curses is the loss of our culture. It's the loss of our cultural power. It's the loss of our cultural knowledge. It's the inability to relate to ourselves and one another from our natural origin. So if we're going to be breaking generational curses, what we're going to be doing is coming back to ourselves culturally, spiritually, emotionally, sociologically, and psychologically. That's how we're going to break generational curses. And of course, our wellness and health is a big part of that, because the state that we're in currently is way different than our nature and the way we used to be even a couple of generations ago. When I was growing up in the Western world in America, my grandparents and even my great grandmother, I knew the status of our health, even when we were eating foods that weren't great then, is still much better than the way we are. So when we talk about generational curses, what could you add to that, Nwasha? What would you say to the people?
I think our biggest, when you're talking about a generation or a couple of generations in this time, the biggest curse that we have is colonization. So I think, breaking a generational curse involves decolonization, which is what we're all about here. We're about decolonizing love, but because we have so many aspects of ourselves in a loving relationship, it involves decolonizing a lot of areas of our life.
Right. People don't realize.
In order to really know what we need to pursue, sometimes when we have a problem, we swing the pendulum so hard in looking to correct it. As Iyanla Vanzant used to say, it's an overcorrection when you swing the pendulum really hard. And so I can understand when we have a lot of financial challenges and economic challenges in general, so personal finances, the micro and the macro, that a reflex would be, I need to pursue wealth. I need to pursue a certain amount of money, or I need to pursue money in order to get the things that show that I have wealth. So a lot of times I see breaking generational curses as the conversation about it is about wealth and about, that aspect of legacy. But if we're all honest with ourselves, we can also look and see that we have inherited a legacy about functioning. We've inherited a legacy on diet. We've inherited a legacy of definitely our belief systems, the language that we speak, the way we pattern ourselves in relationships. All of those things have been inherited. So if we are reliving those things, or living them in our time after the inheritance, we're definitely going to be leaving that as our legacy. Whether we have children or not, the people who look at us and that are coming up in the next generation from us are going to make decisions about what is the curse that we're leaving with them because of whatever we're focused on. So I think in this time of talking about it and knowing that there could be something, I think what it speaks to is that we definitely inherit something. And I think it's the acknowledgement that we get something from generation to generation. I think that's magnificent, because what we're saying is we are conscious of it. I think when we look at it and we say we have generational curses to break and we overcorrect, that's when there's going to be a problem. And I think also when we look at it and we don't acknowledge the generational gifts, the generational support, we have to still acknowledge our ancestors and the long line of what we do receive in a generation, and not just our grievances, to be fair, right? We have to acknowledge the level of endurance, the level of commitment, the level of strength, and all of the other things that we get generationally, and make sure that we're harmonizing again. Harmonizing is such an important thing, because you don't get curses without gifts. In indigenous understanding, technology, culture, spirituality, there is no thing without its so-called opposite, because everything exists in a polarity. So when we acknowledge the curses, we have to acknowledge the gifts and the strengths,
Absolutely.
right?
That's real
and
talk.
the talents. So I think that as we do that, we'll be able to really reconcile. The purpose of, fixing a generational curse and leaving something better for the next generation is not to overcorrect and restore something in your personal life and then cause another curse, right? Many people, many people who are successful and pursue wealth and the proof of wealth, what they find is that 2 decades of pursuing something at the highest level in absence of taking care of other parts of their life left their relationships in really bad cases. So either their relationship ended because they were not focused on giving attention in that way, or the relationship didn't end, but perhaps their relationship with their children suffered because of their narrow focus. So when we want to pursue something, we're looking to, I think, pursue harmony and pursue levels of balance. And balance is not 50-50. It could be that you have to focus on work for 5 years straight in order to have 20 years of more freedom and more, wealth, right? But it should still be that you take care of the other major parts of your life that are really important to you. So the reason why you're pursuing something, if it is money, if it is the house or car or plane or whatever we believe are the proofs of that wealth, I think that what's important is to say, when I get it, what am I going to do with it? Who am I going to share it with? Because that's who you need to pay attention to while you're in the pursuit of getting it. Mm-hmm. When you look up and say, I got the yacht, but now nobody wants to come on the yacht with me. I got the plane, but I don't want to travel by myself, and I don't want to end up somewhere where nobody wants to be with me because I haven't been nurturing myself and the emotional self, or nurturing my relationships and caring about anybody else unless they could do something for me in my pursuit of access and wealth. And, I think we have to, as we decolonize, we have to understand what is it that we look at as the rewards of our effort, and who told us that we should value that and pursue that as the reward. And if we check in and we say that we want those things, because I believe we should all have wealth, we should all have abundance, we should have access to what we want and move through the planet in that way. But we should make sure that what we are saying we're pursuing and what we want is actually what we want, and not another version of an inherited curse that right. Someone's telling you need to acquire this thing and that you need to do this thing, and that's how you're going to know if you break the curse or not. We need to say, what are our values, and let's work on restoring those. And then what were the challenges that could be perceived as curses, right. And also what were the gifts and the strengths that we could actually use to eliminate some of the challenges. And then that would be more fair, and that would be more true. And that would help us come closer to our goal without hurting another aspect of our life.
So the takeaway is that generational curses are not going to be broken with money, yo. So you can stop saying that. And anybody who's saying that is not understanding that the reason we're poor is because of we don't have money. We have a tremendous amount of money, especially Black people in the Western world. We rank in the top 10 or top 15 nations in the world, and we don't even have a physical landmass that we can call our own. So not having money is not the issue. When you look at how much we spend on Air Jordans or video games or weave or all the things that we spend money on, no one can say that our issue is that we don't have money. So to get money is what's going to break a generational curse. But when you start checking off through the process of elimination, would having money break our curse? Would this material items break our curse? Et cetera, et cetera. You are quickly going to get to our physical and psychological wellness being a thing that will really break the curse, and a return to our natural cultural way of being. Those are the things that are going to break our curse. So learning those languages, re-embracing our cultural names, our traditions, our belief systems, our paradigms of thought, speech, and action. That's where it's at, yo. So if you follow our work, you know the Super 7 Soulmate skills. The 7th skill is a power couple love legacy, where you're going to you're going to use your relationship now to build into the future with divinity and purpose and efficacy. If you're looking for that, if you want that to build a power couple love legacy, you want to know the systems that we employ and teach to our clients, then you might be a good fit for Akoma Soul, our premier program on the art and science of Black love culture. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, get with us and click the link that's connected to this video.
Akoma.
All right.